All right, we're live. Holy shit. Did I say shit? Yeah, G. Hey,
Yeah.
Rich Widmer with the Unbroken Talk. Gee, we are episode what?
6.
We're 6. I am super excited. I know no, you are not blurred vision. There's 3 of us right here. In my screen, I see me on the left, G's in the front, and a special. I'm already. She doesn't know it, but she's my unbroken hero at all. Anybody that comes on the Unbroken Talk is number 1, very brave. Number 2, very brave. Number 3, very brave, because what is it about? The Unbroken Talk is about inspiring you, the listener, you, the viewer, about journeys. We are looking to inspire people by one inspirational story at a time. And Ashley Schmick has a story she wants to share and be able to inspire. And that's what it's all about. And I know my co-host, Patty G, got some general questions, and I'm going to allow her. Patty, do you want to do the honors and intro, Ashley?
Yes, absolutely.
Jump
This is
in.
Ashley Schmick, who I follow on Instagram, who was during COVID actually one of my inspirations to not only continue working out but want to better myself. So I was looking into the Beachbody, and I came across Ashley's profile and saw her working out, and I loved it. And I follow her, and I was messaging her and just inspired because of her story with 2 children, right? 2 young children at the time. How old were they at the time? They were very little, right?
They were really little when I started, like 2 and 3. They're wild and little.
And working out with you, like on top of you, you were like doing push-ups with them on your back. It was the best thing that I've ever seen. So tell us a little more about how you got started with that.
So I really started working out. I kind of fell into it, I would say. I was watching one of my good friends. She was working out all the time. She was a military person, and she was working out in Iraq. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I would just watch her. And I watched her. We were good friends, but I was like, I don't have time for that. I'm a busy mom. And life was really in the thick of it. I had my 2 boys, teaching, and things felt really, really heavy. It was hard for me. After I had my second son, I would say I had postpartum anxiety. Never diagnosed, but it got to that point where I could not breathe. We would go out, and I was terrified that they were going to get hurt. The anxiety started to take over. I was not feeling like myself. I was yelling. I was anxious all the time, snapping at my husband. And then we went to this one party. We're at this party, and it's a slip and slide. It was supposed to be really fun. Slip and slide where my 2 kids are just supposed to go play. And I still remember it really clearly to this day. I don't know if my husband does, but I do. We're at the slip and slide, and they're at the top, and my panic took over so bad. And I literally ran to the top of the slip and slide, and I'm now walking my poor children down. I'm like, you can't go. And I had
it was a I don't mean to interrupt you, Ashley, but and holy shit, that's all. There's a lot of I know G's got 2, I got 3, I get it.
Yeah.
But from just so I understand, because this whole thing I want is the people that are listening. So just take a step back and explain. At this very point, your kids are how old?
My kids are 2 and 3.5.
2 and 3.5. So they were on the slide. So this was a fear of them getting it. But prior to that, was there, before that, did you experience, or you said you weren't diagnosed for any anxiety or anything? Did you experience those symptoms prior to, like, at all?
Kids, I think I was pretty cool prior to kids. And
so
then
that just came on like that?
My
Okay.
therapist would say it's probably always been there.
Well, that's where, just so like, well, those, and this is where I like the whole point on this is the nice thing, and I always say it. The nice thing is I know the ending of the story, and it's fantastic because I'm just seeing you, and you're radiating positivity, and I'm fucking digging it. So I know the ending of the story ends well, even though if you do struggle, and that mental health is like everybody struggles with that. So I know you got to handle, if not beat it, but just the people that are listening that were in your position, because and there was a time that Pandora's opened up for me. That how fearful and like something's wrong, and you're like having kids and trying to be this woman, but I get that. I see you nodding. I know we're there. So just take back where Pandora's was opening and a therapist or so, and then bring me to that slide if that's okay with you.
So bring it back before the
Yeah,
anxiety.
just when did you notice that really being a issue? Always anxiety? Always type of?
I feel like the anxiety should have been there, but I went through a lot of stuff my childhood, and I just kept pushing through. And then once I had kids, I feel like I just fell apart. Like all of my stuff that I went through was all there. And the panic attack started pretty early when I was pregnant with my kids.
Gotcha.
And I remember driving with my first son, which was probably pretty clear then. I had every spot on the side of the road planned for in case he stopped breathing while we drove.
Oh,
I knew, and that's where the anxiety was there. But I just kept, it's fine. I just started getting help for anxiety 6 months ago.
So it started shit. So it was bumpy growing up.
It
right?
was really bumpy growing up.
Bumpy, and like us all, suppressed it.
Yeah.
That's safe to say, suppressed it. Because you know what? That whole being not breaking, right? This is whole unbroken. You just suppressed it. And that is what you did. And as the children were born, Pandora's box opened. And then it shifted to the what if instance, right? What if? So
all I could think about was my kids. Like I feel like I could handle anything that life threw at me, and I learned how to deal with that. But once you have these babies, it was so different. That's my baby living outside of me. Like, how am I going to protect them? And then I couldn't control that anymore. That anxiety just oozed out of me. So it definitely took over. And I think piece by piece, it just started to take over. And just took over my whole life. And then that breaking point at the slide, and I didn't acknowledge it then. I just, freaked out. And I came home and my husband was like, your anxiety is going to destroy these children. They're going to be scared. They're going to be scared of things. He's like, you have to figure out something to do for, take care of yourself. And
so he recognized it then. That was your defining moment.
That was it.
was he because I always share, and G knows where this is going to go. It's always like when your struggle through from the childhood up until how long were you married through to the children to that slide part?
I got pregnant on my wedding night.
Okay. All right. So So within 3 years, right? So was he aware of anxiety? Was that on the table? Nothing.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
that was a hidden.
I kept it under until those kids came out, and he was like, "Oh my Lanta, what happened to her?" I always joke I used to be cool because my anxiety wasn't there.
Right. So you laid low. You kept it like us all. And I always share. There's like how when you're struggling and you're dealing. In your case, you're struggling. You're dealing. You're suppressing. We got our armor on. We're all good. But then how do you move past it? In your case, the kids just surfaced it. So the only way to get better, to get past, to make improvements, to learn how to deal with it, to do whatever it may be, to be the best version of yourself, is to have that defining moment.
Yeah.
That slide was your defining moment. Your
Yeah.
husband stepped in and recognized it. Praise the Lord to him.
Yeah. I'm very grateful.
Amazing. So then from there, how did you feel? What'd you do? What was your inspiration? I know what it is, but what was your inspiration to say,
it was him saying that, and I was like, you know what? I've been watching this girl that I mentioned in Iraq, and if she could work out in Iraq, I can work out with kids. You know, I could figure it out. I literally watched her like in the barracks with book bags, and I was like, if she could work out like that, I can figure out how to find 10 minutes for myself. So literally that night, I messaged her and I was like, I'm coming on. I'm doing Beachbody with you. And she was like, okay. And I literally started the workouts probably the next day. And I started 20 minutes, if that, you know, and Patty's right. They were literally kids on top of me. I have so many videos when we were little. We would do like just workouts together. They'd be on the floor. They'd be running around with me. Either like I would use them as my weights.
That's awesome.
Back while I'm doing a plank, you know, or we would do it together. And they're like in their diapers lifting these little baby weights. And all of a sudden something clicked. I've worked out. I thought I worked out my whole life, but nothing clicked like the Beachbody workouts did for me, like the community did for me. It clicked at the right moment. And I was like, wow, like my head feels calmer. Like I have energy. And sometimes I couldn't get a full workout in, right? You got kids climbing, they're screaming, gotta change something. But even if I got in that 10 minutes, that was it. And I was hooked. I was hooked. I finished a 3-week program. I lost like 10 pounds on the 3-week program. And I was like, all right, I'm going for it. And I then dove straight into the meal planning part, trying to figure that part out, you know, eating healthy, getting rid of all the junk food that I was just eating like crazy. And then I really fell in love. And I started the workouts more and I started to add more to them, add more weights. I lost 40 pounds in 6 months.
Wow.
Solid.
And then like everyone's asking me, you know, how'd you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I just did these like 20-minute workouts, you know, and I followed this easy meal plan. It felt so easy for me. And I'm then having all these conversations because like I felt it. Like I could watch other moms and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you were in it like I was in it. You know, and I wanted to make them feel good. So I just started talking to all my friends like, hey, I found this, like, let's talk. Like I wasn't a coach. I was sending them all to my friend in Iraq. And I was like, I just want to help you feel good. And I started to fall in love with helping other people. You know, helping them be inspired, helping them meal plan. Like I love to meal plan. I'm a nerd like that. And helping them.
Oh my God, you are insane with that.
It's my favorite.
I
do share.
No, when she's doing like she does school lunches, she's doing dinners.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's fucking crazy. Like for the week. No,
the whole week.
Watching her on Instagram, I'm in awe. I'm like, I'm exhausted watching you do that. And then do all that, get her kids to school and get herself to school. And you work with?
I work with emotional regulation impairment munchkins.
Yes.
So they're the kiddos that yell, curse, throw things at you, have really, really tough home lives. You know, and honestly, these workouts are the reason why I can do that. I don't think I could have done it without the mental space that I'm in now. Or continue to do it. You know, it's hard to be in that classroom every day and to not take it home. It's physically demanding. Some of my girls, I have a bunch of aides that work with me and they're like, wow, I'm so sore. We did this. And I'm like, and I'm like lifting tables over my head. And they're like, oh my Lanta, like, well, how'd you do that? You know? And it's all because of my workouts. They're like, how do you work out in the morning before this? And I was like, how do you not? It gives me the energy. It gives me the energy. It gives me the mental space that I really, really need. It gives me everything. People pick on me for it, but I love it. It's my passion. I never thought it would be, but it is.
So it's safe to say that the outlet, more or less, from the any type of anxiety, learning how to, number one, deal with it, or techniques, or any of the above that you officially from a therapeutic standpoint will do, but noticeably the exercise, releasing the endorphins, having the right nutrition in your body to regulate your hormones, your nervous system, all the above. I obviously am a huge advocate, and that's the only way to go, because the simplicity of it is you are what you eat, mind, body, and soul, right? So that is amazing. So are you actively having your own community to be able to share the experiences on? Share with that.
So it started with a Facebook group. You get a bunch of girls into it. I was coaching a bunch of them to be coaches, but I found a bunch of teachers and their lives got busy. So at this point, it's just a close-knit group that I text and I talk to, we motivate. It was a Facebook group, but a lot of people aren't on Facebook, and I found I needed to do it the way they needed it. I could post on Facebook all day long, all these cool things. They need me to text them. We need to text, we need to chat. So I have girls that are on there. Some of mine don't do the Beachbody workouts. They go to the gym and that's their whatever, if you do it however you want to do it. And then they always know that I'm there as that support person and whatever they need, whether it's meal planning. Some girls are like, just help me plan, or they need the supplements. So then I just work with them however they need, and we just kind of work through that way and figure it all out as a family. Yeah.
That is absolutely an amazing story. How does your husband to react to all this?
So ironically, my husband now is into fitness as well. He was not, and we're working on his healthy eating habits.
Right on.
But as I started to, I think that was what was really cool too. Like we were eating awful, as a whole family, and as I started to take on the eating part of it, the workouts I feel like are easy. It's what you eat, which I found to be really, really hard.
That's right.
And I went into the mindset like 80-20. I'm going to control what I can control. And then dinner, my kids need to eat. I need to figure out what to feed them. I'm not going to worry about that part when I first started. And then as I felt more comfortable, I started to make healthier dinners, healthier snacks, kind of get rid of the snacks in the house that were junk. And then I started kind of watching my kids follow me. Like as I'm eating carrots, they're eating carrots instead of the chips in there. And I could watch that. And then we would have conversations about, why is mommy eating healthy? Why are we making this? And then they start baking with me and they start cooking with me. So that kind of exploded that I didn't expect it to. And then my husband started like being like, wow, this ground turkey is really good. Like just certain smaller things that I would change,
Right.
And so then he was like, all right, I think I got to start working out. And I'm like, okay. So then now he's in the gym. He wakes up at 4:00 in the morning and he works till 8:00 at night, and he's in the gym every day now. And he's doing that kind of stuff. I give him all the food. But he takes care of the fitness stuff and he does that now too. And he's like, this feels really good. So he's definitely in the best shape that he's ever been in. And our kids get to watch that, which I think is probably my favorite part. They joke that I'm the stronger one, which I love. But they get to watch me work out every morning.
I got a very important question. All right. Yeah. This is super important. So you're around the dinner table and the ketchup bottle is too tight to open up. Do the kids go and give the bottle to mom or dad?
They give it to mom. Mom for everything. Yeah.
That is so cool, man. Yeah. Listen, I mean,
I have a question though too. Shoot. Who's the one? Is it tomatoes or one of them? It was eating like a whole thing of something. I can't remember what it was now.
Cucumbers, tomatoes. That's my older one.
I think it was tomatoes. Like
I'm not shocked.
The whole thing, you had just bought it and it was gone. They were just sitting there snacking on the tomatoes.
That's my older one. He just loves to eat that stuff. I mean, he literally, we have a garden in the back now, and he'll sit in there all day long and he'll just eat the tomatoes, the cucumbers. We went to our county fair and he brings in a whole cucumber and is walking through the fair with the cucumber. And I'm like, this is not normal. I was like, but whatever. Like, he didn't ask for a funnel cake. He's eating a cucumber. And my younger one he's got some sensory stuff, so he struggles with the healthier foods. But now, like, he takes control. Like, he goes and makes smoothies and we turn them into ice cream. He thinks it's ice cream, but it's really smoothies,
Yeah.
So, like, letting them take the control. Like, he doesn't have to eat the tomatoes and cucumbers because that's not his jam, but then he'll go and make the smoothie and he'll put the vitamin D oil and the fish oil in. Like, he knows that stuff is in there and he makes it, turns it into ice cream, and then he has that every morning. So like, they're doing their own little things. And then a lot of, like, just come and do it with me. If I let them bake with me, they're much more likely to eat it, and they see what's in it. We have that conversation. We talk about, why am I put zucchini in muffins, or why am I putting this in my shake? Like, we're having those conversations naturally. So then they just kind of see it and it becomes more organic in our family that we just eat healthy.
That is, listen, it is so inspirationally awesome to hear you unpack your journey, being suppressed, having it unfold, the moment where you see a potential danger with your children, having it recognized by your recent groom, right? By your groom, who verbally says to you something that becomes your defining moment, your inspiration to be a better version of yourself for your family, taking the bull by the horn and first putting yourself in the best place, where then those habits that you created radiated to the quality of life you are now setting for your children, is applausible. I mean, it's just
absolutely very commendable.
Awesome,
because not only does she teach special ed, she has 2 kids, she runs a household,
you're nurturing,
she has goats. Like, how cool is she?
Yeah, no, it is, like, I am honored. This is what this talk is about. This is the unbroken hero, which you now enormously represent. And, like, I love this shit. And it's really, like, how you share your kids now do, the tomatoes and cucumbers and all that stuff. Like, I'm not shocked at all. And I'll tell you why. You're somewhat, because you implemented something so unprecedented in the current environment. It is like, it's not out there, right? So I see, and I know I share this in a lot of different explanations, but when you get a newborn, blank canvas, period, you can, whatever they're surrounded, Gio, you surround yourself with something, positive people, not positive people, whatever it may be. That is what is going to be reality and normal to you. My sidebar is like, how the hell does Eli Manning, you heard the name, Giants, where the father was an NFL star and you got 2 sons, Super Bowl. What? It's easy to understand that because it was around their circle. So you, at such an early age, made it second nature to them. And because they trust you, respect you, your mommy, you're the strongest one in the family. They idolize you. Then what's it about? And they're treating it. Me, having been involved with health and fitness, not influenced, self-made by such an early age, it is so much harder for me to not eat good or miss a work. Like, I feel like I'm going to be electrocuted if I eat that Gio, no. For me, to be able to like I can prep. I've prepped, and this is not kudos to me. It's I'm sharing. I've trained myself so long that for me to prep through Christmas and pass on, it's just food, man. It doesn't matter. But that's the point. I go on, and I know she's got such a sweet tooth. It doesn't matter if she knows it's good for her or not. Just special, but you guys get the point. But kudos to you. I loved the story, and I wish you all the continued success. And I'll be sure to follow you to see your kids embracing the journey you have. So I'm enormously glad you came on the show. Is there
She's got
anything?
so much energy in the morning too with your and the kids are involved in that too.
Oh yeah.
Party and like she gets them involved. It's like
I
really
love that, man.
Oh, it's
I love
awesome.
that.
You know,
I'm gonna tune in and find. Yeah,
Love it.
I'll
that's
definitely
like
check it out.
it's just part of my routine that started, a good way to start the morning, dance it out. I make my pre-workout and I shake it out, and I almost stopped because I was like, do I really need to do this? And then this older lady at work came up to me and she was like, listen, she's like, I don't work out. She's like, but I watch your stories and I dance with you every morning. She's like, you
That's
make me
awesome,
I
man.
know, I love it. I love
I
it.
love it.
silly, she's like, no, she's like, I look for that every morning. She goes, me and my kids, we watch you. She's like, we dance it out with you. She goes, and that song, whatever song you pick, like we're looking forward to. It's like those small little things to make you feel good in the morning,
Yeah.
I didn't think that was something that people were watching, but
It is.
No, it
Yeah.
absolutely
small little
is.
things. And my kids
Absolutely.
dance with me, my dogs, we've had the
Yeah.
bunny on it. I
Yes.
mean, it's shenanigans at all times, but it's
Love
good
it.
shenanigans.
It
Love
is.
it.
It's
Love it.
awesome. It's
I
awesome.
love it.
Do not stop ever.
Is there?
because,
Well, we'll
you're
sure
inspiring a
the
lot of
chance
people.
to
Me included.
anything last you want to share with anybody that's listening at all. Ashley, you got the floor. Final say.
If I really reach out to the moms out there, if you feel like you're a mom and you're falling apart, just pick one thing and take it on. You can do it. You can change your life, and you got to take care of you before you can take care of them. I think that's the most important thing. And lastly, I'm Ashley Schmick, and I am Unbroken.
I love it. And if it's okay, Ashley, I'm sure I'll end the video on the YouTube. We can put your Instagram account. People, any moms certainly I encourage to watch the shenanigans in the morning. I'm certainly going to partake. Sure. Absolutely. And if you like this video, meaning this unbroken story, please subscribe. Definitely subscribe to the link, like, share it, pass it along, comments. We love it. But Ashley, God bless you, babe. It was fantastic.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it so much. All righty. You take care. We'll be in touch soon.